joined by Epson Tour player Angelica Moresco. How are you doing today, Angelica?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Good. So we're in the off season right now. Epson Tour season starts in about 3 weeks in Florida. Just tell me, how are things going? How has your off season been? What have you been doing, this off season to get ready for the upcoming Epson Tour, season?
Yeah, the off season has been good. I was actually home back to Italy for about a month and a half, so that was a good time off. I definitely took a few weeks off to just, reset and everything. And then when I was home, I had to undergo a little hand surgery, so I had that to take care of. I'm fine now, so I've been practicing for the past few weeks and just getting ready for the season and just trying to, do my best to get ready for that.
Nice. Yeah, so where do you spend your off season mostly? You said you went back to Italy, but where do you spend your off season mostly?
Yeah, I still live in Tuscaloosa. That's where the University of Alabama is, and
Okay.
so I still live here. I do practice here and in Birmingham at Shoal Creek Golf Club. So
Mhm.
I usually spend my time here, and then just go home for a month
Nice.
or so when I can.
Mhm. So let's talk. Last year was your rookie season on the Epson Tour. So, you had a couple. You had one top 20, two top 20s. Excuse me. Just looking. But just tell me, how was your rookie season last year on the Epson Tour?
Yeah, it was good. It was a lot of fun. I feel like, your rookie season is always a hit or miss most of the time. You don't really know what to expect. And I enjoyed it a lot. I was a little scared at the beginning because, coming from college golf where, they do everything for you and you just kind of have to show up and play. Now you're kind of on your own and, you have to travel to all these places, but it was a lot of fun. I'm very confident with my game and, figure that this is the right path, and I enjoy the life on tour, so it's been pretty good so far.
Nice. And then I'm sure your goal is to earn your LPGA Tour card this year. Either through finishing
Yeah,
top 10 on Epson Tour or
yeah,
or Q School.
they actually just announced
Okay.
a week ago that there's going to be 5 extra cards on the
Okay.
Epson tour.
So now it's top
So
15. Okay.
definitely that's the goal for the year.
Nice. So I won't ask you your goal. I'll just say, what do you see for yourself, this season, in 2024 on the Epson Tour?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to have too many expectations. I just try to do my
Hmm.
best every day. I know that the final goal is definitely to, have that LPGA card and play, on the biggest stage. But I try to put in the work every single day and just trying to do my best. And that's really all I can do. But definitely the goal is always, making it up there.
Nice. Yeah. So as I said, hopefully if you're playing in the Connecticut tournament, I'll be there, volunteering all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. So you're from Italy, tell me about, how did you get started playing golf? What's golf like in Italy? What age did you begin started? What age did you begin playing golf?
Yeah, I actually started when I was really young.
Okay.
I started about like 6 years old.
Okay.
I started, my dad started, and golf is not a big thing in Italy at all.
Yeah.
And now it's growing because of the Ryder Cup and all that, but back then it was not a big thing. But we had this golf course close to our house that was really pretty, and everybody used to talk about it. So my dad and I just used to go out there to just hit balls and just kind of mess around, have fun. Like his friends were there all the time. And I just kind of liked always being outside and just, hit golf balls here and there. And then my little sister also started. So it was kind of a family thing at first. And then slowly we realized we were kind of good at it. So we were, just let's give it a try. We tried every single sport, but golf seemed to be like the one that we were the best at. So um, that's kind of how it started.
Yeah, so let's talk about your sister. She also played at Alabama, Benedita Moresco. She finished low amateur this year, at the US Women's Open at Pebble Beach, tied 33rd, has played in a couple of US Opens, couple Evian championships. So just tell me about your sister and, what was it like, growing up playing with your sister and getting to play with her, at Alabama?
Yeah, it's definitely been awesome. Especially, we played junior golf together back home on the national team. And then, but I feel like we didn't really get to, really compete together. You're kind of still playing. Yes, you're
Mhm.
playing for your country, but a lot of it is individual. But when she came here to college, I mean, it was so fun playing alongside her and just being on the same team and practicing every day together, living together. I feel like that was such a cool experience, and getting to do it with my best friend and sister at the same time, like, was awesome. She's a great player. She's shown it multiple times. We push each other to be better on the golf course and outside the golf course. So definitely, I'm really lucky to have her. I definitely don't know if I would be where I am without her, and I think she would say the same. We just kind of like balance each other out, and we just like to do it together, and that's awesome that we get to do it.
Nice. So yeah, I saw that you got to go to Pebble Beach, see her play in the U.S. Women's Open. So yeah, what was it like going to Pebble Beach and getting to see your sister, finish low amateur?
Yeah, it was actually in the middle of the season, and
Hmm.
I knew my parents were flying in to watch her. And I remember I actually think I had to fly to New York and Connecticut the weeks after to go play that event that you live close by.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what, let's just jump on a plane and go watch her for a few days. Like, who cares? So I just jumped on a plane, flew there, and she didn't expect it. My parents did not expect it. So it was so fun to just surprise them. And then watching her play on the biggest stage. This wasn't her first major. She had played a US Open before, and I actually caddied the US Open before this one. So just watching her grow and see, the growth from the one before, it was awesome to see. She played amazing, and it was so
Mm.
fun to celebrate and all that. So it was awesome.
Nice. So your sister has, a long list of accomplishments. We won't go through them all, but she turned professional in July and she's earned LPGA, tour status for this upcoming season. So tell me, two questions. What was it like to see your sister turn professional in July? And now that she's earned, LPGA status for this season, where will she be playing this year? Will, she just try to get in tournaments when she can?
Yeah, turning pro has always been her dream. And
Hmm.
so watching her do that, it was such a big achievement. And just, I was so happy and proud of her. She's a really, really hard worker, probably the hardest worker I know. So it's been awesome to see her process and her growth. And then when she qualified to play in the final stage of qualifying school, I went up to watch her because it was here in Alabama, so it wasn't far from where we live. And just watch her, gain status. I mean, it's her dream. It's always been her dream. I feel like it's everybody's dream, but when it's your little sister, it just feels a little more special. So she's gonna be playing both. She doesn't have a full status on the LPGA. She has a conditional status. So she will be beginning her season on the Epson Tour with me
Okay.
in a couple of weeks. So she'll play both. Depends on where she gets in on the LPGA. And then we'll see. But she's supposed to play both.
Nice. Well, good luck to your sister as she begins her professional career. We'll get back into talking about you. So, what are some of your earliest golf memories, growing up, playing in Italy? Did you play mostly in Italy? Did you play, junior golf, or did you travel around,
Yeah,
different countries playing, golf growing up?
yeah. So when I started to be pretty good at it, I got into the national team, and
Hmm.
I started traveling the world when I was really, really young,
Okay.
probably 13. I think 13 was probably the first time I, went with the national team outside the country. So it was a lot of fun because you get to do it with your best friends, and you kind of have friends all over the world at some point and all over Italy, and you just meet up and go to events together. So it's definitely really fun. We were really young, so it wasn't easy a lot of times to just, leave your house and your parents and everybody and just go play golf. But it definitely shaped us into, the athletes that we are now and how independent we've become. But it was definitely so fun to be on the national team. And all the coaches were always amazing, all the captains and stuff. It was really fun to travel together. But we've been all over. We've been in Europe, pretty much everywhere from France to England to Spain, Sweden, Norway, literally everywhere, to places like
Hmm.
Japan, things like that. So we've covered a pretty good amount of countries.
Hmm.
Sure.
Nice. So this is 10 years ago, so I don't know if you remember, but you won the Italian under 18 championship in 2014. So, what was it like to win this, championship in 2014?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was my first big win. And actually I was 14 when I won that, and I
Hmm.
was competing with girls that were like 18. So it just kind of came out of nowhere. And I think that's when I realized, maybe I can do this. Before that, I was so young that you're just trying to do your best, but you don't really know. But that was, a pretty big win. So that's kind of when, the national team reached out and the whole career started, but it was awesome. Yeah.
Nice. So growing up, you've gotten to represent Italy. You played on the Italian junior team that won the 2016 European Girls Team Championship, and then you're also a member of the Italian ladies team that finished second at the 2017 European Ladies Team Championship. So, just what is it like, growing up and getting to, represent your home country of Italy?
Yeah, that's one of our favorite events when we
Mhm.
play with the national team because it's more of a team event rather than an individual. So you partner up with another girl on the team and you just kind of play matches against other countries. So it's always so fun. And when we won it the first time, I don't know if Italy has ever won that before us, but if they did, it was a long, long time ago. So that was such a good thing for the country. And we had so much fun doing it. We were all really young. We were probably around 16 at the time. And then getting runner-ups at the ladies one, which means you're simply like over the age of 18. That was still awesome. There's just little steps towards, the goals every year. And it was just really good for the country and for the Italian Federation for sure.
Nice. So after growing up in Italy, you then on to go to college in America. You went to University of Alabama. So, what drew you to Alabama? Were there any other schools you were looking at? And, what was it like, growing up in Italy and then you went to school in America? What was that like? Going from, growing up in Italy to going to school, at Alabama.
Yeah, my recruiting process was pretty smooth, I'd say. I had a lot of offers from SEC schools to Big 12 to kind of like the bigger schools, but growing up in Europe and being that young, I had no idea how college worked, to be honest. It was still kind of like the beginning of when players would come up to the United States to go to college. So I had no idea up until I came on a visit at Alabama. When I did
Mm.
my official visit, I saw the campus and I just fell in love with it. I was in between Alabama and another smaller school, but once I came out here, I saw the difference. And I mean, I fell in love with the campus, the coaches, the team, like the culture behind it. The team was really good at the time. They were ranked #1 in the country, so it was a pretty easy decision.
Nice. Being from Italy, what was it like attending college in the U.S. at Alabama? What was your favorite thing about Alabama? What was the most difficult, aspect of, going all the way to America to go to school at Alabama, being from Italy?
Yeah, I think it was a struggle at first. The language barriers were definitely there. But after that, you get used to it really quick. And I think, I mean, leaving your parents and, your family, I think that was the hardest thing at first, because you become really independent, really, really, really quick. And, the smaller things that you didn't pay attention to, now you have to do it by yourself. So I think at first it was a little bit of a struggle, like my first semester as a freshman, but then I got used to it really quickly. I started to love it. I love my independence. I love, just living here and be responsible for myself. And then, I mean, Alabama is a great place to grow as an athlete. I had a great time at school too. I always enjoyed going to school. So getting to do both things at the same time with my best friends, with great coaches and a great athletic department was honestly a blessing. So
Nice. So we'll talk about the 2018 national championship. I guess it's a highlight or a low light, however you think about it. But your team, very good team. You reached the finals of the national championship. Unfortunately, lost to Arizona, but still, um, you know, had a great showing at the 2018 national championship. So tell me, what was it like? Just tell me about the 2018 national championship. And, what was it like? Making it all the way to the finals. You would have probably liked to have won a national championship, but still, making it to the finals. What was that like?
yeah, so that was my freshman year. So I was just a
Okay,
freshman
nice.
and it was honestly unreal. We were
Hmm.
such a good team and we played great golf. We were ranked #1 in the country. So it was a little bit expected of us to, make it. I don't want to say to the finals of the NCAAs, but we were pretty sure we were going to make it up there because we were pretty confident in the players that we were in our games. But when it came down to that, I mean, it was awesome. Like the adrenaline that I felt those days does not compare to anything else, honestly. It was such a cool experience. And I feel like as a freshman, I was just so overwhelmed by everything, but I just tried to enjoy it as much as I could. Definitely sucked a little bit that we didn't get it done, but it was still amazing. We're still an awesome team and we had so much fun. It
Nice.
was definitely a highlight of my career for sure.
Yeah, freshman year, you at Alabama, your team was, very good. You had Lauren Stevenson, Kristen Gilman, Cheyenne Knight, yourself, and Lakabar, Abby, all of the, your teammates, are either, Epson Tour or on the LPGA Tour. So, just what was it like, being teammates with those other girls, being teammates with, such incredible, players.
It was awesome, honestly. It
Hmm.
was, you know, looking up to them and see, what hard work really was and, their resilience, their, everything about them. It was a great motivation for me as a freshman coming in, not really knowing what I was doing, to be honest. I got to look up to them and, get on the grind right away. And they did a great job with, taking care of me as a freshman and, just motivating me to become the best player I could be and just pushing me to do better every day. So it was definitely awesome for me to be on that team. I look back at it as one of the best years of my life.
Nice.
It's for sure.
That's awesome. So finally, yeah, just recap, how was your time at Alabama?
It was awesome. I
Hmm.
love this place. I still live here because I love it so much.
Hmm.
But it's Alabama is such a special place, and I mean I call it home now because it's been what 7 years now. I was at Alabama for 5. Took my COVID year, and then played on Epson last year, but still lived here. Now I'm on my 7th year here. But I enjoyed it so much. My coaches are great. They still help me out a lot. All the athletic department is amazing. The facilities are huge. Um, and just all the people, they're just so nice and definitely shaped me into the athlete I am today. And they've done such a great job that I'm always going to be grateful for all of it.
Nice. Well, you definitely enjoyed it enough to convince your sister to, go to Alabama. So, yeah, that's
Yes.
awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad you enjoyed your time at Alabama. So after, your time at Alabama in 2022, you then turned professional. So you played in 2022 LPGA school. You advanced to stage two, so you passed stage one. But just tell me, this next question, it's gonna be a learning experience, question. Sure this can be some takeaways from this, but unfortunately, stage two of 2022 LPGA school, you did shoot a final round of 82, so just, tell me, what did you learn about, yourself and your golf game, after shooting that final round of, 82 in stage two of, Q school?
Yeah, that was definitely a big learning experience.
Hmm.
Go through stage one. I played really well at stage one, and then you go to see stage two, and I was ready to go. And I played pretty good the first 3 days. I was into the cup, going into the last day, and the last day was pouring rain. It was such
Okay.
a bad, a lot of us thought it was gonna get canceled, and I think that's what got to me a little bit. But I was kind of unlucky. I played at the worst time of the day where the rain was just coming down like crazy. And I just messed it up. That's not really much excuses I can go around with, but it was definitely a huge learning experience. I think the pressure that you're under and all that, I wasn't really used to it. Like college, yeah, you had a lot of pressure, but you're playing for yourself now and for what your job is going to look like in the next year. So, I was still very grateful for it. I got a full Epson card out of it, but definitely huge to learn from. Managing your emotions, managing pressure and all that was definitely what I worked on after that.
Hmm. Yeah, so unfortunately, final round didn't go how you would have liked, but you did, make the cut and, finished all rounds at stage two, which, earned you Epson Tour status for 2023. So, just what was it like to, advance to stage two of 2022, LPGA school? And, what was it like to earn your Epson Tour status for, 2023?
Yeah, it was awesome. I went into stage one. Stage one is honestly, I think it's kind of the hardest just
Yeah.
because you make it or you don't. Like you have a job or you don't play golf the next year. So it's kind of like I went in there just trying to do my best. I was pretty confident in what I was doing, but you never know with golf. So I just tried to stay calm and relaxed as much as I could. I was lucky I went with some of my best friends that they're also players, and most of us made it to second stage. So it was a big experience. I hope I never have to go back.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It's honestly, I think I was more worried about, the outcome of it. But once you're there, you're just trying to do your best. And that's what I did. So, and it worked out. So,
Yeah, hopefully you'll finish, top 15 on the Epson Tour this year, so you won't have to, go back to Q school.
exactly. No, yeah.
Yeah, because
I hope
definitely
never.
Q school is, very difficult and very stressful. So yeah, we'll hope for the
Yeah.
best this year on the Epson Tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so then, 2022 LPGA Q school, you earned your Epson Tour status for 2023. So, after earning your Epson Tour status for 2023, you turned pro in January 2023, prior to the, Epson Tour season. So, you know, how special for it was it, and what did it mean to you when you did, turn professional in January 2023?
It was really special.
Mhm.
During college, my senior year, during the whole COVID thing, I got pretty sick from COVID and
Okay.
I had to sit out a whole season, not a whole season, but a whole semester, my spring season, oh my gosh, the spring of my senior year, I had to sit out because of COVID. So that time, honestly, I didn't really know what my future was going to look like. Not playing golf for like
Mhm.
6 months was hard. And I didn't really know if, playing professional was still my future. I didn't really know. Luckily, I had
Mhm.
to take my fifth year. So that was a pretty good reassurance once I started that, but you still don't really know what's going to happen until you actually do it. So, turning professional and being confident in, my game and who I was as a player and, my abilities and, being healthy enough to do that was honestly awesome. So I was really, really happy. It was always my dream since I was a little girl. So it felt really special.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Congrats on turning pro last year.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Epson Tour, your season's, March, through September, October. Depending upon if you make it to, the Epson Tour Championship. But yeah, the fact that you're out there, with the same group of girls, for several months, throughout the year, traveling, across the country, who are some of your friends, you have out there on, the Epson Tour? Who are some, of your fellow competitors you're closest with on the Epson Tour?
Yeah, so there's a few girls that I usually travel with. One is there was this girl that she used to be on the team with me at Alabama.
Okay.
She just got her LPGA card through Epson. Her name is Juan John.
Mhm.
She's Korean. So we traveled a lot together. And then I have a few girls. The one was from Florida State, I think, in college. But we used to play junior golf together in Europe. Her name is Beatrice Wallen.
Okay.
Um, my bros from France, like just people from all over the place, honestly. But most of them, I met them in college or junior golf, and then you meet them on the Epson tour, and you just like want to travel together. We're all in the same boat. I feel like so we don't really want to go by ourselves to events because that's kind of miserable. You want to travel with people and make it more fun. So that's what we try to do every time we go. Just make it fun outside the golf course too.
Nice. And when you're at a tournament, do you mostly try to stay, host housing with the same group of girls, or do you like to mix it up, or just, however it goes?
Yeah, the Epson Tour does a really good job with the host families.
Okay.
I did stay for the majority of the events with the host families, and usually I stay with another girl when I'm there, one or
Mhm.
two girls. But yeah, I usually host families. Otherwise, it's going to be Airbnb or hotels.
Cool. Two more questions. So, this upcoming Epson Tour season, what are some goals, or, what do you hope, happens, this year for yourself on the Epson Tour?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that I'm going to improve from the
Mhm.
recent year. And of course, the goal remains to get my LPGA status somehow, whether it's making to the top 15 or going to Q school again. I don't care how I do it as long as I do it. But more personally, I just hope I get to enjoy it every time I step foot on the golf course. That's the biggest thing. I feel like I play my best when I'm having fun and not look too much into the future. I know that if it's meant to be, it will be, and if I work hard enough, it will come. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do.
Nice. Finally, what are some goals you have for your, professional golf career? And, 5 years from now, do you have a plan where you see yourself, 5 years from now with your professional golf career? Or are you just taking it, your professional golf career year by year now?
Yeah, I mean, of course, the goal is to play on the LPGA. My dream is to win a major championship. I feel
Yeah.
like that's probably everybody's dream, but I mean, when you're that close to make it so big, like you can feel it and you want it so much. But that's definitely the goal. 5 years from now, I hope I'm still playing golf. I'm hoping I'm still on the LPGA. 5 years from now, I'll be 30, so hopefully, start a family and all that. But that's more down the line. Right now, I'm just, trying to enjoy my life on tour.